The bottom grappler, sometimes you're not always on top and you're stuck on the bottom. In that case, grab his arms. If he's grabbed around your arms, pop your head free, sit out, and right into a case of gatami. Notice how she's grabbing the elbows, holding very tight. Do it again a few more times, Julie. You're doing great, actually. She grabs the elbows, pops her head out, posts her foot up, sits through, a lot of hip drive into that, and see how she rolls across and stays on the near side of his head. You can see poor Chris laying under there. And notice how she's grabbing very tightly between his elbows and shoulders, really hugging him, okay? And she's going to keep riding him. She sits through, and she's working, and she comes in. Okay, get a little more on your hip, Julie, and just ride kind of like case of gatami. There you go. All right, shoot again. Try it again. And Chris Garlick is helping her out in this particular case. We named it after Steve Soden, who did this so well. He was one of my junior athletes many years ago, back in the 70s, who used this a lot. He didn't really invent the move, he just really got good at it. So we named it after him, the Soden Roll. Sometimes the guy might grab like that. If he does, that's a stupid thing for him to do. And she sits through, finishes with a Soden Roll. That's a nice ride. So it's a really good move, and basically Julie's learning it as we're doing the videotaping here. And so you can kind of see how you can pick up doing the Soden Roll. Okay, thanks a lot. So if Derek's down, elbows and knees, Mike is dominating him, hooks tight, both arms, hooks very tight, okay? Now, what he does is he pops his head through, he just rolls Mike right over on top of him. A beautiful ride position.
And you get stuck in that position and sit out.
You reverse positions, Mike, head, just turn around so, yeah, Derek can be. So watch it from your better angle here. Derek gets out like that, he traps his arms. Now watch when he just catches the turn. He sits through, and he doesn't, he's a bit on his back there, turn the hip. Yeah, there you go. You don't want to be laying on your back. A lot of wrestlers will end up with their back. That's not a strong position. You don't want to be there if you're Derek. You want to be sitting on your hip, turning into him. You can control him for a longer period of time.
That's more important.
Plus you can go into an arm lock from that, bent arm lock from that position. A lot of things about it. She grabs the elbows, pops her head out, posts her foot up, sits through, a lot of hip drive into that, and see how she rolls across and stays on the near side of his head. You can see poor Chris laying under there. And notice how she's grabbing very tightly between his elbows and shoulders, really hugging him, okay? And she's going to keep riding him there.